World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, raged from 1939 to 1945, engulfing the globe in its devastating grip. It was a war that pitted nation against nation, ideology against ideology, and left an indelible mark on the 20th century and beyond. The war's origins can be traced back to the ashes of World War I, where unresolved grievances and economic turmoil created fertile ground for extremism and aggression. From the ruins of a defeated Germany, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power, fueled by a toxic mix of nationalism, anti-Semitism, and a thirst for revenge. Meanwhile, in Japan, militaristic leaders sought to expand their empire's reach across Asia, clashing with the interests of the United States and other Western powers. As tensions escalated, the world watched with bated breath, unaware of the horrors that awaited. The spark that ignited the global conflagration came on September 1st, 1939, when Nazi Germany, driven by Hitler's expansionist ambitions, invaded Poland. This act of aggression shattered the fragile peace that had prevailed for 2 decades, drawing Great Britain and France into the conflict and marking the beginning of World War II. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919 after World War I, aimed to prevent future conflicts, but ultimately sowed the seeds for another. The treaty imposed harsh punishments on Germany, including crippling reparations payments, territorial losses, and limitations on its military. These punitive measures created resentment and economic hardship in Germany, fostering a sense of humiliation and injustice among its people. This fertile ground allowed extremist ideologies like Nazism to take root and flourish. Hitler capitalized on the widespread anger and discontent, promising to restore Germany to its former glory and avenge the perceived wrongs inflicted by the Treaty of Versailles. His message resonated with millions of Germans who felt betrayed and humiliated by their country's defeat and the subsequent peace settlement. Nationalism, fueled by economic instability and political turmoil, also surged in other parts of Europe and Asia. In Italy, Benito Mussolini and his fascist party rose to power, promising to restore Italy to its former Roman glory. In Japan, militarists gained influence, advocating for expansionism and military strength. On September 1st, 1939, the world watched in horror as Nazi Germany unleashed its Blitzkrieg, or lightning war, upon Poland. This new form of warfare relied on speed, mobility, and overwhelming force to quickly overrun the enemy. German tanks, aircraft, and infantry units smashed through Polish defenses, while the Luftwaffe, Germany's air force, bombed cities and military targets relentlessly. Poland, despite its valiant resistance, was ill-prepared for such a swift and devastating attack. On September 3rd, 1939, after Germany ignored ultimatums to withdraw from Poland, Great Britain and France declared war on Germany, fulfilling their treaty obligations to defend Poland's sovereignty. However, their declarations came too late to save Poland, which was quickly overrun and partitioned between Germany and the Soviet Union under a secret pact. Following the fall of Poland, a period of relative calm settled over Western Europe known as the Phoney War. However, this lull was shattered in April 1940 when Germany launched a series of swift and brutal attacks, conquering Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and finally France. With continental Europe under Nazi control, Great Britain stood alone against the Nazi war machine. In the summer of 1940, the Battle of Britain commenced, a pivotal air campaign that would determine the fate of the free world. The Luftwaffe, commanded by Hermann Göring, launched relentless bombing raids against British cities, airfields, and industrial centres. Their goal was to cripple British morale and pave the way for a German invasion. However, the Royal Air Force, aided by radar and the determination of its pilots, fought back with unwavering courage and tenacity.